Good morning, lovely. ZoëTwoDots here with some more Pokemon Go goodness for you. And today we're going to be getting into an AR photo tutorial, AR photo guide, and a bit of a instructional on how to take better AR plus photos and pictures in Pokemon Go. Quick shiny check. Regular. Okay, so let's get out there. I've got a couple of quests for Lapras at the moment. If I have all these shotters, I get some Lapras. So let's go take some nice photos of Lapras and go through a bit of a guide on how to get around and how to use the new AR plus photo system the best. So let's rock and roll. Okay, so it's a pretty rainy, miserable day today. It's probably not the best day to be out with electronic devices, but we'll do some improvising in terms of filming and we'll get there. So I'm gonna go over the basics while we're in the car here. So there's a few things that you guys need to know, and pretty much the first is that there are a lot of bugs and a lot of glitches with AR+. I can not, in no way 100% guarantee that things will not flee on you, that things won't run away by accident, that things won't just glitch out and the game won't just crash by chance. That is the nature of AR+ at the moment. I have personally lost a shiny after Niantic said, you know, they can't run in photo mode anymore. They can, and we'll go over that in this guide. So first things first, Pokemon can still run in photo mode, despite that post saying that they can't. They certainly can. The first contingency being if the Pokemon despawns while you're in photo mode, it will flee. You don't get a chance to throw a ball. Normally if a Pokemon is in this menu, so say if this Magikarp has despawned, I still have one chance to catch it. I could sit here with this Magikarp open on my phone for an hour, which would pretty much guarantee that it's despawned, and I have one chance to catch it. If it jumps out of the ball, it will flee. So if you're in photo mode for AR+, and this Pokemon despawns, you do not get a chance to catch it. It just disappears. It says the Pokemon has fled. I'll show you guys the difference between being in AR+ mode and being in AR+ camera mode in a second when we get out of the car, because it doesn't want to pick up a Pokemon in my car. But essentially, if you're just in regular AR+ mode, when you walk around, your movement can scare the Pokemon and they will flee. When you're in camera mode, you have a bit more options for moving around, but you can still have them flee when you exit camera mode. So I'll show you guys that visually in a second as well. So before we get into it, top tips are we can't guarantee, or I can't guarantee you things won't flee. So be careful, choose wisely with what you want to take AR pictures of, and I personally recommend using stuff from quests. So quest Pokemon, if they flee, they just go back into your bag list, so into your quest list. They shouldn't generally flee. I've never had one personally flee, even in AR mode. If it does flee though, it should, we'll stress test it today. It should just reappear in your list of Pokemon to catch in your Pokemon Quest menu. So that to me is the safest, just because you can't really lose Quest Pokemon. You can just always go back and try and reattempt to catch that one. And that's what I'll be using today for the demos. I'll be using Lapras, and we'll do some testing with stuff like this wild Magikarp, just to kind of stress test and show you guys some stuff. So let's get out there, let's hop into this rain and see how we go. So yeah, see you guys out there. Okay, so this is going to be weird to film. Okay, so the first example I want to give you guys is of a wild spawn. So, I'm going to be holding multiple things at the moment. So let's go this Magikarp here. We'll go into AR+ mode. And pop, there it is. So straight away, as an example, if I walk at this Magikarp in regular AR mode, I'm basically annoying the hell out of it, and it will flee. So there is sometimes a chance that that Pokemon will reappear on the map to try again. In this case, no such luck. So let's go the Remoraid next. So the Remoraid, let's go straight into AR+. Pop that one open. And let's put it in photo mode straight away. So this is the mode that allegedly it can't flee in. It most certainly can. So let's go back into regular straight away. Pops back into the grass. I barely moved. So let's go once more. Camera mode. Straight back off camera mode. I didn't move too much, so we didn't have any risk there. But say, for example, if I put it in camera mode and then shake it all about, jump straight back out, did you see that red there? It can flee again, and from that it can actually run away completely. It might not pop back into a little grass tuft, so I'll show you guys again. Put that in, so using both hands, sorry. Camera mode, give it a big shake. Oh no, I dropped the phone, I ran too fast at it. And then pop back out. Oh no, the wild Remoraid fled. And then you get a nice little glitch sometimes it freezes on that screen as well. So be very careful when swapping back between camera mode and regular mode, because it most certainly can flee if you're too active in between. I'll show you as well with this Totodile. We're in AR+. I'm going to put it into camera mode and approach slowly, being nice and polite. Say if I shake it around a bit and wait a little while. I'm gonna wait, and go back so you can still jump out. So I recommend if it's something that you definitely want to catch and it's a wild spawn, approach it slowly, regardless. Even though when you're in camera mode it stays still and has a nice little time, if you want to catch it ultimately, approach nice and slow as though you were in regular AR mode, so that when you exit to catch, oh, see, even that was too fast. When you exit to catch, you have better odds essentially. So all in all, this is kind of like a very handy and instructional, kind of like what not to do. If you're not willing to lose it, don't take an AR photo of it. That's kind of how I weigh it up. So I'm gonna put you guys down for a little bit and let's get into kind of how to take some more, you know, photographic, more visually appealing AR photos. So not just, you know, not just smacking out a regular standard AR pic. How can we get some nice angles? What can we do with it? And yeah, I'll set you guys up and let's go. Okay, so by no means do I recommend that you ever enter a storm drain. That is not smart. The one that is currently here has like a ramp in and out. It's not raining too bad, but I will not be actually getting into the storm drain. Do not do that, that is dangerous. But a thing to consider when you're taking AR pics is the location. So I'm going to be catching Lapras. Where's a nice cool water spot to take that? I could take it to the beach, I could take it to the lake, to the pool, all kinds of cool options. You could take photos of it in the bath. There's a lot of awesome options of things to do with different type Pokemon. So I'm going to show you guys kind of how I take my pictures. So first of all, we're going to jump into AR+, make sure we're in a safe location. We're safe enough. So, and plonk that Lapras is enormous. So I don't like where it's sitting at the moment. So I'm going to turn AR off, turn it back on, and we're going to try and position it a bit further down this ramp so that it lands in the water. Hey, that's a bit better. And Lapras is quite large as well. I'm going to rotate this sideways. I'm going to go into camera mode as well. So when you're in regular mode, if you move, the Pokemon will move to face you always. Oops, sorry Lapras, didn't mean to annoy you there. But once you're in photo mode, the Pokemon will be anchored and you can move around it. So you can see here, I can actually kind of get to the side of Lapras, whereas previously it was turning to face me. And I can walk all the way around to the side. I could get behind it, take some cool shots like that. So that's kind of like the first thing. You want to make sure you're actually in camera mode first before you start walking around, because otherwise it'll always turn to face you. The next thing I see a lot of people don't really do, a lot of people just take their photos standing up. So one thing that's really cool that you can do is actually, Lapras is quite large as an example, crouch down and get different angles with your Pokemon. So crouching down to like get a different perspective, or walking away. So for example, Lapras is quite enormous. I'm going to back it up quite a bit. And I'm going to wait for Lapras to attack to make it almost look like a little splash in the water. So there we've got the little jump, makes it look like a tiny bit of a splash, because it isn't crystal blue water, it is a bit, you know, muddy drain water, so that brown dust jump actually looks kind of realistic. So let's run away from that one. So if I run, it'll just pop back into my quest menu, it'll be up there in the top option for quests. And let's grab something that's a little bit smaller for some examples. Let's grab this Totodile. So this is a wild Totodile, so this does have a risk of running away, but I'm okay with that, it's just the standard Totodile. So I'm going to go into camera mode. Let's go sideways. I'm not too afraid if this one runs away, so I don't care about the speed. I just want to take a photo. I'm going to go all the way behind Totodile. There's you guys hiding under the umbrellas. And I'm going to crouch down. I can get behind him completely. I can get all up in his grill. I can, you know, show me your close-up. See, okay, there's an example of moving way too fast in camera mode and it jumping out. But I can, if I take my time, which I should for this guide. You can get up nice and close, crouch down low, get some cool angles. Boom. One thing to consider is if you want to take a photo of your friends with the Pokemon will always appear in front of everything. So it'll always appear in front of everything no matter what it is. So if you want to take a picture of yourself, you know, patting the Pokemon, try and put yourself as though you're patting on its back rather than touching it on the head or holding it from necessarily Underneath isn't too bad, like you can kind of do that one pretty good, but say if your friend is standing here, you can tell them, you know, pretend to pat it on the back or pat on its head, because then it will at least look convincingly like you have your arm around it, not like, oh, I'm trying to pat you on the tummy, because that obviously, you know, doesn't look that great. Holding it in a cups kind of motion, or patting it on the back, patting it on the head, but, you know, kind of having your hand so that it looks like it's, you know, around it, rather than doing the whole Leaning Tower of Pisa, I'm trying to touch you. So you can also, as I was saying before, get around the back of it, get some cool angles, like, you know, get your friends to stand here and pretend to be, you know, battling the Totodile, like they're ready to fight, ready to throw down. There's a lot of really cool things you can do with this. Again, you can walk really far away. Like, I'm just going and going and going. This is especially good for large Pokemon, legendaries as well, the legendary birds, because they take up quite amount of space. This is great. So, I mean, you could take a whole group shot with people in there. You could put yourself closer to the Pokemon and put your friend group further in the back. So a good thing to consider is playing with foreground and background. Pretend that you're a photographer for a day. You know, an actual photographer isn't going to go, oh, there's a Totodile, click. You know, you want to try and play with the angles, get in the background, take some, you know, some different shots. Another cool thing to consider as well is props. Always remembering that the Pokemon will appear on top or in front of everything. So I can't just put the Pokeball in the foreground kind of thing, because the Pokemon will cover it. I'll show you kind of ways you can get around that. So say I've got my Lapras here. I'm going to go into photo mode so I can't scare it away. I'm going to come up with my Pokeball and let's go about there. Now, Lapras is obviously quite a large one, but you can have a bit of fun with this, like pretending as though you're throwing Pokeballs at it. You can also do things as so, like getting super far away from your Lapras, putting your Pokeball in the foreground, like so. So this Lapras I've walked a fair while away from. If I do bring it down, you will see it get in front of the Pokeball. So I want to kind of position it in the grass like so, and snap away. Play with the angles. You can maybe come around from the side. Put a bit of the grass in front of the Pokeball so it looks more realistic. Even getting your camera down into the grass as well. Whoop, see that one there I'm going to need to rearrange because the Pokeball, Lapras is getting in the way of the Pokeball. So I might move it to the side there. Beautiful. The best thing to remember as well is just to have fun with it, just to experiment. You never know if something's going to turn out good or absolutely terrible until you try it. So no harm unless you try and take the risk and figure it out. Okay, let's try and take it down to the water here. Oop, a bit too close. Oops. Anyway, that's okay. I accidentally ran away. That's not a problem. I'll just go back into my quests here. Claim. Oop. Okay, the one downside as well to the quest menu is that they can appear out of order. So that Lapras will still be in my chain of quests in that top one there. But I do have a third one anyway, sitting here ready to go. So all good. It will still be there, guys. It will just be in the menu waiting. So let's go camera mode. So you can kind of see from these water ones, the water looks a little bit less convincing when I'm on the underside, just because of the way that the light catches on the water. You can see things reflecting underneath it. It's a bit less realistic looking. So if we go from top down on the water, maybe you could hold the Pokeball yourself in the foreground. So if I get around this side of it a little bit and position it, you can hold it yourself, hide your fingers out of the frame of shot. Whoop. So So let's catch this Lapras as well while we're sitting here. Remember, for quest Pokemon as well, they can't flee. So if you're willing to, use Pineapps on them, because free candy, free double candy essentially. Oop, that was a terrible throw. Still worked though. So that is pretty much all there is to it, guys. Get creative, get fun, get some props in there as well. You know, if it's the middle of winter and you've got a Charizard and the fire's going, try and position that Charizard nicely so it looks like it's kindling its tail next to the fire. If you've got some cool water type Pokemon, put them in a body of water. Put them in your drink cups. Find different and interesting ways to put them in their type element, or flip the river, like flip the roles. I've seen some really funny photos of people putting, you know, Magikarp on the barbecue grill, or one really cool one of someone giving their Persian some string to play with, like a little kitty cat. So there's heaps of really cool ways you can interact with your Pokemon in AR+. And remember, don't just stand up and snap a regular shot from body height. Crouch down, move around, get some cool angles, experiment with it, like have a lot of fun with it, because that gets more engaging shots, more intriguing shots, and those are the ones that, you know, people share, and I suppose get the most likes, get the most love, and they kind of convey the most emotion, or convey the biggest story essentially. Again, guys, do not forget, don't do this, don't do AR+ photos with things that you aren't worth losing, you don't want to lose. So things that aren't worth losing to you, I still recommend don't risk it personally. Don't risk it unless you're willing to have it run away by accident. Accidents do happen, even when you're taking the most care and walking really slowly and being really good. Things can just happen. The game can just crash by accident and you might lose your Pokemon. Again, I recommend using the Pokemon in your quest tab, because they will just appear. They appear in like a random order, all jumbled up in that quest list, but they will still be there. I hope this guide has been helpful for you guys. Please share with me on Instagram and on Twitter your awesome AR photos. Let me know if you got some cool tips out of this guide as well. And if you have any other tips to share as well, if you take heaps of AR+ photos, share your tips down in the comments down below. How do you take the best pics? Where do you prefer to go to take your photos, and all that good stuff? And remember, guys, not long at all until friending is available in Pokemon Go. I'm really excited for this new update that is coming, and trading and all that good stuff, and adding all you guys as friends, or as many of you as I can as friends. So I'll keep you guys posted about how I'm doing that. Please, if trading drops like tomorrow, don't spam the comments with "here's my friend code, add me." I'm going to work through a process of how I'm going to be adding people, so I will call you. Don't call me, I'll call you. With that being said, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful morning, noon, night, whatever time it is for you, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.